What's up, YouTube? Night here again. Got another little showdown battle comparison video for you. This one is the battle between the two Demkos. This is the Demko AD20S, to be precise, the American-made, courtesy of none other than Mr. Rick from Rick's Knives. His name should be popping up right around there somewhere in that area right there. And this one is mine. This is a permanent size comparison knife for the channel, or one of my size comparison knives, I guess. One of the usual suspects, the Demko AD20.5. We're going to talk about all the differences, all the similarities, all that good stuff between the two, in case anybody out there is interested in knowing that. I guess if you're interested in purchasing either one, one's definitely a lot harder to purchase than the other one is. But before I get into it, hit the like button if you like the content, subscribe right down there, somewhere down there, if you want more of it. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all my channel members, Patreons, viewers, subscribers. You guys are awesome. And without further ado, let's get into it. This is the AD20S, really fine-tuned piece of American-made knifery right there. This is the slim version. The S stands for slim of the Andrew Demko AD20. Was the original American-made knife out of these two, anyway. And this came out a little bit later, and this brought the Shart Lock to a lot more people after this came out. This one is made in Taiwan, and this is the slicer variant of the AD20.5. Both are Demko knives, both designed by the same guy, both have the same locks, but one, as you can see clearly right there, is smaller than the other. Now, same kind of ergonomic lines on the two right there. Both of them handle really well. Both of these knives are really recommendable knives. One of them, I believe, the AD20 should be on the Grail Knives playlist, and this would be on the most recommended knives playlist. So let's go ahead and we'll do some overall measurements. Probably should have my tape measure ready whenever I'm ready to do this, but all right. Everybody's got off days. For me, it's just every day. So from the tip of the blade to the end of the handle, 7.5 inches on the AD20.5 versus versus tip of the blade to the end of the handle on the AD20 is 8 and 5/8. So a little over an inch difference between the two, which is pretty significant. So from the tip of the blade into the, or tip of the blade where the blade meets up with the choil, total blade length, total overall blade length, you're looking at 3 and 3/4, a little bit over maybe on the 20.5, 3 1/4 total blade length. Cutting edge 3 inches, right at 3 inches, 20.5, and right at 3.5 on the AD20. So comparable, I would say, between the differences between the Para 2 and the Para 3, Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3 with Spyderco, right? And you know, the size ratio anyway. So let's see which one is thicker. Let's see if I can find my calibers here. Usually I got everything kind of right there ready to go, but off a little bit on this one. Got everything rearranged around here. I got some new lights. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys noticed that, or it's noticeable at all. I don't know. 129 thousandths, thickest part of the spine on the AD20, and let's see, what is it, 128, pretty close, thickest part of the spine on the 20.5. Let's go behind the edge, right? So behind the edge on the 20.5 slicer, let's see, trying to do it around the same spot as the other one, around 28.5 thousandths on that one. AD20S, comparable spot, I guess, 19 thousandths, so thinner actually on the AD20S. 538 thousandths, a little over half an inch handle thickness on the 20S versus 387 thousandths, a lot thinner of a handle on that 20.5. So let's see, calibers over here somewhere. let's do some size comparisons. Let's see, Ontario Knives Rat Model 1. And let's do the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. Alright, so these two are comparable, but again, you can see the, kind of a trend, I guess, the size difference going on there. Almost put one of the knives I was showing away. Alright, so this is one of the other Demko designs, the AD10 up next to them. Alright, so you can definitely see a difference there. And as I was talking about earlier, Spyderco Paramilitary 2, which is definitely longer in overall length, like that, definitely longer in overall length than the AD20.5, and a little bit shorter than the AD20. Spyderco Para 3, less cutting edge than the AD20.5, and a little bit less overall length, actually. Got that forward choil that kind of cuts into the handle scale there. So let's see, let's do a couple USA made ones. You got the Hinderer XM18, right? That's it next to the two. And another kind of a small batch, I guess, USA made legendary knife here is the Strider. That's the Strider SNG up next to the two. And not too many size comparisons. I've done individual reviews on both of these knives, but so not as many size comparisons as normal, but of course you've got your 8-inch USA made crescent wrench and your DeWalt framing hammer. So there you go. I think that proves a lot. Alright, let's do weight. Scale out here. Alright. Now I'm gonna guess on this one, this one's pretty hefty. You've got not really much on internal liners at all. You've got that kind of a small bit that the shark lock kind of adheres to in there with these kind of rivets that go straight through it. You've got barrel spacers on the back screwed in on each side with a G10. But as far as skeletonization, there's not really any needed because it's, for the most part, G10 on the handle. Still pretty chunky. I'm gonna guess, I don't know, 6 ounces would be my guess. 5.2. See, I measured this not too long ago in a full review and I still couldn't remember it. 5.2 ounces on that one. That one, 3.3. So you got 2 ounces difference. So significant. When you're carrying in pocket, still a pretty significant difference between the two. Both of them are very carryable, I would say. Alright. So, speaking of, let's get out the blue jeans here. Like a normal kind of review, but with two knives, I guess. This is an aftermarket deep carry clip, I believe, and that's pretty loose, actually. That's the one and only thing about this one that I would have a complaint about is let's watch. I'm not even holding it with anything, see? Alright. I'll put the jeans on there again. Both my hands, pulling it off. Couldn't quite do it, but falls out pretty easily, right? But that is an aftermarket clip. Maybe you need a little bit of adjustment or something on that. But this is the clip that comes with the 20.5, not a deep carry clip, which is a downside of that one, I guess. Still got a little bit sticking out there, but a little bit more secure in my book. Put those back out there. Let's see. Hardware check. This is a T8. Both have Demko knives on the pivot. That's pretty cool. One of my gripes, if I remember right, in my review video of this one, is it says Wampum PA there. This is made in Taiwan. The 20.5 is a Taiwanese made knife. It's 20 CV, by the way, in Taiwan. Actually, that's a T8. A little too small, so let me get out. I think it's a T10. Make sure I got one. There we go. Yeah, T10 on the pivot. And your 20 USA made. T10 on the pivot. Alright. Body screws. T8. T8 body screws. T8 pivot. Or, yeah, so T8 body screws, T8 clip screws, and a T10 single side capture pivot. Good hardware specs, I guess, or whatever you want to call it on that one. T10 pivot. Let's see, maybe they're both the same. I can't remember from last time. Nope. Taiwan, I guess, chose to use T6s, which kind of sucks. They're a lot easier to strip. But yeah. Alright, so same except for this is T6 and this is T8. Alright. Same size pivot, T10 on both. I don't know why they couldn't have used T8 hardware on the body and clip on the 20.5, but I don't know. So anyway, alright, that's pretty much all the specs out of the way. Now this one, and I don't know if it's just the fact that this one's G10. This one's got liners kind of in it. You can see right there, a little bit skeletonized. This is the Ultim version, obviously. But this one, the 20.5, if I pull this back and let it go, it doesn't really make a ting noise or anything like that. It's kind of a hard thud against the plastic. Now, opening and closing, very similar sounds on the two. Kind of like that clickety-clack mechanical sound. But whenever you hold this back, see if I can do it right there. Kind of hear that ting, right? So that one's got kind of a ting on the close if you hold that short lock back the whole time. Both short locks work excellent. This one I was thinking was a little bit wider on the 20S, which actually not. It looks like they're both about the same. Jimping right around the same size, although the 20.5 does have a little bit smaller. So fairly similar there. This one's linerless, this one's not. Other than that, the hardware, both are pretty close. Now, you can't really talk blade shapes because this is AD20S and this is an AD20.5 slicer variant. So this isn't the slicer variant of the AD20S, and this isn't the slim variant of the AD20, right? So can't really directly compare that. Ergonomically, they both are awesome. Choked up on this one feels really good. Choked back still, even though it's a little bit smaller than the other one, than the AD20, still feels really nice. Choke back feels really awesome on this one. G10 to me feels a lot better than Ultim. And especially this G10, I think they did a great job on it. Choked up pretty much where it's at on this knife. Really locked in, solid grip on that. And yeah, so to me, other than the fact that it's, you know, made in my home country, made in the USA, I would still, if they were both made in Taiwan or if they were both made in the USA and somebody handed me these two, I would still prefer the larger knife, I think. I mean, I do prefer like kind of a larger size knife, but also it's a lot more comfortable to kind of actuate that short lock, to disengage it, especially on the AD20S. And it's got that added benefit of the hardware being a little bit better. But I guess this one does have a benefit of being a little bit more compact. It is definitely slimmer with the Ultim. But yeah, so between the two, if I had to pick, I would probably pick Rick's, the AD20S, hands down. Really, that's the USA made knife, awesome knife. So would really like to add that one to the collection eventually. Not Rick's, you know, I'm gonna send it back to him, but would like to add one to the collection eventually. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's pretty much it. Hope you guys liked the video. Let me know your input if you got any more experiences with these two, or choice, preference, whatever, and let me know in the comments what you think. Appreciate everyone watching, and hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, morning, night, and see y'all on the next one. Stay sharp.